What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40k. In this one, I will be talking about an event that really doesn't happen very often. It is a battle between two warriors, a Space Marine and a Primarch. Now, the Primarchs are supposed to be on a whole nother league than Space Marines, but there have been times when certain warriors of the Imperium have gone toe-to-toe with the Primarch and lived, or in the rare cases, even bested them. This, however, is something vastly different, because it pits two Chaos Astartes and Chaos Primarch going at each other, and the Chaos-empowered Primarch is unable to kill this Chaos Space Marine, and it is none other than Typhus versus Mortarion. So this is found within the book Buried Dagger, and there's a lot of lore implications around this, because Mortarion, for one, yes, he is blessed by Nurgle, but he himself has a lot of issues. He doesn't like the fact that he himself is a psyker, and he almost seems like he has regret for becoming this chaos devotee that he currently is. On the other hand, we have Nurgle giving boons and basically pushing Typhus to be the warrior, the champion of chaos that Mortarion doesn't want to be. So let's go ahead and read this excerpt from the novel and figure out what exactly is going on here and why a Space Marine of Chaos can live against a demonically empowered Primarch. With a snarl, Mortarion exploded into motion and drew the lantern, laying a column of searing white fire over the other warrior. Typhon shrieked, but as the beam faded, he was still standing. Ash crisped and crumbled the upper layers of his skin and scorched his armor, but the beam's damage was given away by some invisible means. Without hesitation, Mortarion shifted tactics and brought up silence in a singing arc of steel, slashing the blade through the stale air. Typhon skidded away across the ichor-slick decking and narrowly avoided a strike that would have cut off his arm. He gave no obvious command, but without warning, a dozen other hazy forms burst from the shadows of the chamber and set forth to attack the Death Shroud. They were members of the first captain's specialist detail, the fighters he called his grave wardens, and not one of them moved to engage their Primarch. As the two groups of bodyguards clashed, the Primarch and his captain stalked each other, trading testing blows that quickly escalated in tempo and lethality. Despite the years that had known each other, Mortarion and Typhon had never fought, not even in the sparring pits. It had always seemed like a test that did not need to be proven, a question never answered. Their blades sparked off one another as Typhon attempted to get inside his Primarch's reach and knock him back. It was a bold tactic, and for many other, Mortarion would have thought it a futile effort, but Typhon knew him as no man did. Their weapons locked, and the two of them struggled to a standstill. Despite his sickly appearance, Typhon appeared to draw upon a reserve of strength and stamina beyond that of any ordinary legionary. Mortarion met his gaze and saw a stranger behind those familiar eyes. The Reaper of Man let the last iota of brotherhood between them gutter out and fade, like a decaying candle. "If you are what keeps us here," he hissed, "then that binding will be severed." With a mighty surge of effort, Mortarion slammed silence into Typhon's weapon and broke it cleanly in two. The first captain staggered backwards, but the Primarch pressed the attack, leaning into the momentum. The unstoppable crescent blade of the great war scythe tore into Typhon's chest, and through it a scream of ruptured ceramite burst out. The curve of the razor edge dug inward and upward through the meat of his body, the yawning passage of its cut finding both his hearts and slicing them open. Black blood gushed in a torrent from this fatal gaping wound, and Typhon sagged lifelessly, supported on the end of the blade like a hooked fish. But then Typhon's head snapped back up, and his jaundiced eyes glared back at the Primarch, lit with a baleful fire. "Did you think it would be that easy?" Noxious yellow froth drooled from his mouth as he spoke, pitting the floor and sizzling where it landed. Typhon's arm blurred, coming at him with impossible speed. Mortarion shifted back to block the attack, a dagger driving at his neck, and he barely managed, only to deflect it. The metal knife found a gap in the spaces between the armor plates and cut through the heavy undersuit beneath it, as if it were nothing there. The Reaper felt the tip of the blade bite into his flesh, and the pain was incredible. Shocked by the force of it, he staggered back, losing his grip on Silence, reaching up to wrench the dagger from where it lay. He pulled at the weapon, and riding waves of agony drew into him. Looking back, he saw Typhon reach down and pull Silence out from his belly. "I have something that belongs to you," said the first captain, and he threw the war scythe back. Mortarion caught it, disgust twisting his face as he watched loops of distended intestine and cankered organs hang loosely from the cut it had made in the other warrior. The mortal cannot end the immortal. And that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it off here from this book. It continues on, but if you guys want the full lore, the full readings, go ahead and check out Buried Dagger. I'm sure it's got an audiobook, and although usually these books for 40k are kind of hard to find, I'm sure you can get your hands on the physical copy. But with that being said, this is pretty crazy to see that, I mean, yeah, Mortarion technically did kill Typhon, aka Typhus, and we see that he was being empowered by Nurgle. So what exactly can Typhus do nowadays? Well, he's basically the vessel for the Destroyer Plague. He is one of the most feared Chaos Lords out there. Dude's got a scythe of his own, and he's pretty powerful. He's one of the champions of Chaos. So for example, we have Ahriman, the champion of Tzeentch, we have Lucius the Eternal as the champion of Slaanesh, and of course we have Karn the Betrayer as the champion of Khorne. And then, out of all those four, I mean, it's pretty, I don't know, it's up in the air who's the strongest of these four champions of Chaos, but Typhus is not one to just scoff at. He's pretty powerful, and he is capable of creating zombies. So this guy is pretty devastating when it comes to fighting. He's got Terminator donned on him, so increasing his resilience. Like I said, he's got a scythe covered in pus and pestilence and all types of diseases. So all in all, this guy is a beast. So obviously we have more going on than just a battle of Space Marine versus Primarch. It really is a battle of Nurgle versus Mortarion. And we see here that Nurgle does not want Mortarion to come out on top. He's basically showing him the power that Nurgle can muster to just a lowly Marine. Like a lowly in parentheses, because obviously he was the captain and whatnot. So he's a powerful fighter, strong tactician and whatnot. So yeah, that's all I got for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts here. Do you think if Nurgle were to give full power to Mortarion and Mortarion were to embrace Chaos, would he have come out on top? Because clearly we've seen into the future Mortarion fighting against Guilliman and the whole Godblight story. So that's another awesome look into how Nurgle's relationship with Mortarion has shifted throughout the years. But yeah, let me know of other Space Marines that have gone toe-to-toe with the Primarch and lived, because clearly there's been so many countless times where, for example, Angron has just butchered captains and stuff like that until Karn came in. But yeah, so let me know your thoughts down below and we'll go from there, guys. As always, thank you for watching and listening. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll see you then. Peace.